It's almost like the Energizer Bunny running through quicksand. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Molly, and in this video I'm going to be listening to the album Master of Puppets by Metallica. Now Metallica is a band that I'm just starting to get into here on my channel. So far I've heard their debut studio album Kill 'Em All and their second studio album Ride the Lightning, both of which were just amazing thrash metal albums that brought so much energy to them. And you guys keep telling me that I have to check out their 1986 album Master of Puppets, that this one is also a must listen. So yeah, I'm really excited to dive into this album and hear more from Metallica. So starting Master of Puppets off is track 1, which is called Battery. Certainly not what I was expecting when I hit play, that's for sure. Just there, I was hearing some really faint stuff in the background. I don't know if it was the bass for a split second that I heard. It was kind of like this grinding sound almost. This song is oscillating between several different genres, and there's some industrial elements too I'm picking up on. There's sort of like an unpolishedness to this song that I like. It is. I think it's the bass I'm hearing. Every now and again, it'll kind of peek through when there's like a little moment of quiet. And I really like the tone of it. It's really unique. Whipping up the fury. Yeah, that's exactly what this track sounds like. It's like this whirlwind of sound. They're just creating so much energy with it. Well, that was track 1, Battery. What a start to that album. Certainly an appropriate track title. That song was much like a fully charged battery. It just had so much energy to it. I thought the intro to that song was really interesting, very unexpected, how it was just that acoustic guitar. And just everything I love about Metallica's music was on display with that track. You had that amazing guitar solo there toward the end. You had that really funky sounding bass too from time to time. It was subtle, but it really elevated that track. It added a lot to it. And then the percussion too kind of had like this echoey sort of industrialness that I loved, and just so much speed and energy with that song. It was awesome. Up next is track 2, which is the title track Master of Puppets. I love how sharp and quick their music is. It's like these little blasts of sound. His voice sounds very open and kind of expansive on this track. Like there's almost an atmospheric quality to it. I love how they keep changing this song up. Like the rhythm will change. It just keeps you on your toes. It always throws you for a loop what they're gonna do next. Alright, now they're bringing that kind of gentle acoustic quality back on this track too. Kind of how the last one opened. Am I crazy in saying this almost doesn't even sound like a guitar? It has a very clear tone to it. I don't know, it weirdly almost sounds like an electric violin or something. so much sludginess to the sound here. I love how we just had that really melodic, clear instrumentation going on, and then they just start bringing all of this heaviness to it. Only Metallica can make guitars sound like this, just utterly crazy, and I mean that in the best way possible. I love the drums just there. Now there's some faint sounds coming in here. Interesting ending to that one with all of that laughter going on. But that was track 2, Master of Puppets. That song was somehow so all over the place and yet so incredibly controlled at the same time. I thought it was really incredible how they were doing that. It was almost like that song would fall down into these kind of heavier, grungier depths with its sound, and then they would climb back up into this lighter, more clear sounding tone. And that song was kind of going back and forth between that. All right, up next is track 3, which is called The Thing That Should Not Be. I love when they bring the heaviness in. Oh, so good. I absolutely love the tone of that guitar. It has a sort of grungy quality to it. Like, it's almost reminded me a little bit of Nirvana or Alice in Chains, kind of that style of music. There's something about this song. It's like it's crawling along the ground. Like it's not really taking off and bringing a ton of this thrash metal energy. They're almost bringing like this sort of restrained creepiness almost to this song. Kind of sounds like some shrieks or yells going on faintly in the background. I love how he said the word rising and the song kind of rose up a little bit. Well, that was track 3, The Thing That Should Not Be. I absolutely loved that. A very different sound for Metallica. Like on their previous albums and even the first 2 tracks on Master of Puppets, they always bring just a ton of energy, like kind of this explosiveness to their music. And that track, they pulled things in, they slowed things down. That was almost like a grunge metal or a sludge metal type song. It just had this kind of meandering, creepy crawliness to it that I absolutely loved. Those guitars were amazing. They had like that sort of squeaky industrial sound to them, a sort of unpolished quality. All right, up next is track 4, which is called Welcome Home, Sanitarium. There's so much lightness at the start here. This almost sounds like a different vocalist on this track. I don't think it is though. I think I'm just not used to hearing his voice in a more like light melodic tone. Yeah, see, now that he's adding a little bit more of that growliness to his vocals, it sounds like their usual vocalist.
Sanitarium. Got some death to do. Mirror stands back high, reaching out again.
This guitar here is just reminiscent of something escaping and flying upward. I love when Metallica ends their tracks like that, just with all of this pizzazz and energy from the percussion. But that was track 4, Welcome Home, Sanitarium. Something very light and almost airy about that song, except at the very end there, where they kind of started bringing a little bit of that sludgy quality back. But even with his vocal delivery, so much clarity with his voice. Like I said, it almost sounded like a different singer at the start there. It was almost like that track was just flying all over the sky, like in the air, and then at the very end it just got pulled down with their more kind of sludgy thrash metal sound that they typically bring to their music. Moving on to track 5 is Disposable Heroes. It was almost like a missile being launched or something. That sound effect just there. Oh, and then this bass again. I love it. It brings so much heaviness to this album. They always do the unexpected. It makes their music so much more entertaining, in my opinion.
Victim of what sex should be, a servant till I fall. Finish here, bring down, enough to take away.
Man, that guitar is so fast.
You will do what I say when I say back to the front. Barking of machine gun fire.
It's interesting, this track started off with that missile sound I talked about, and then I just heard something about machine gun fire in the lyrics too. There's something kind of militaristic almost about the themes going on with this song. It even just kind of sounds militaristic, like very structured and kind of coming at you with this sort of attack almost. There's some background sounds just there. I don't know if it was like a second guitar for a second. It almost, in a sort of way, echoed this guitar solo. It's like horses galloping. It's just so speedy. That was track 5, Disposable Heroes. That one was just such a speedy track. My gosh, it was just like, it kind of hit the ground running and never stopped. It had this very, almost like mathematic precision to it with its sound, but then they were going all over the place in terms of like the energy and everything. They're doing that so well on this album, just balancing this really structured, like thought out, precise sound with a whole lot of craziness and improvisation too. All right, moving on to track 6 is Leper Messiah. Again, there's so much heaviness, like a sludginess to this one.
Spineless from the start. Knees, falling to your knees. Bow to Leper Messiah.
That percussion just there had such a strong echoiness to it. Again, sort of an industrial quality a little bit. Blind devotion rotting your brain. Yeah, there's definitely a whole theme on this album lyrically about kind of giving your power over to a master that's going to control you like a puppet on a string, hence the album title, and kind of maybe trying to break free from that, like release yourself from the control of this higher power or point of authority, so to speak. I love how they're not bringing all of the energy right away. It's almost like a pot of water just simmering on the stove. Like you can tell all of this energy is building up. They're very controlled with their sound. I really appreciate that. It kind of makes the really punchy moments have that much more of an impact. I'm very faintly picking up on that bass. It just really does have a very unique tone that stands out, even though it's pretty subtle. It's really having an impact on this album. I totally thought that track ended and then they just injected like a little bit extra at the end. I really liked how they did that. A little surprise there for you. But that was track 6, Leper Messiah. Again, a fantastic blend of this sort of sludgy quality, just so much heaviness at times. But then they bring that speedy thrash metal sound that just amps up the energy. It's almost like the Energizer Bunny running through quicksand. That's kind of like what this album sounds like. But moving on to track 7 is Orion. There's almost like a weird synth quality to the sound of this one here at the start. I'm loving how they're just adding all of these layers. They're slowly building this song up. Yeah, you can really hear that bass on this one. Even with this guitar going on, that bass just really stands out. This guitar climbs up and then it falls back down. It's just going up and down and all around with this sound. This is a completely different sound now. We had that gong and then the song just fell into this kind of twangy, molasses-like interlude almost. Yeah, there's such a languidness to this. It's so drawn out. Yeah, and see how they're just slowly kind of pulling it back into that more energetic realm? But they did it so subtly, though, that I didn't really even notice. Well, that was track 7, Orion. I guess that was an entirely instrumental track. There wasn't any vocals on that one. What I really loved about that one, though, was how it just flowed so seamlessly. It was like water running through a riverbed. I loved, too, how each instrument kind of had its place to shine on that thing. You had the bass really coming through at times, and then obviously those awesome guitar solos and everything, but you could really appreciate all of the layers and the different instrumentation that they were utilizing. But moving on to the last song on Master of Puppets is track 8, which is called Damage Inc. This is such a strange sound here at the start. Is this a guitar? Oh yeah, they're going out with a bang on this album, that's for sure.
Dealing up the agony with it. Touching hard and no one's gonna get it. God
I love how they put stuff like that on these tracks. They'll just stop it all of a sudden and it just throws you. It's like, nope, you thought you had our sound pegged down, we're gonna change it up on you and just bring the unexpected. I love it. This one's great. I love how they stop the song and then he just whispers Damage Incorporated and then they just bring it all back with a punch. Well, that was track 8, Damage Inc. or Damage Incorporated. I just loved how they were stopping that track all of a sudden and then they would bring the energy back with such force. Truly just masters of their craft in delivering these extremely quick, speedy songs. It's always so impressive to me when I listen to Metallica how fast they can play these instruments, and that song was just a great testament to how good they are at what they do. Well, that does it for my reaction to Master of Puppets, the third studio album from Metallica. I think what I really loved about Master of Puppets was how they were incorporating a lot of experimentation with their sound on this album. They obviously embraced that thrash metal, energetic sound that I loved on Ride the Lightning and Kill 'Em All, but I think on Master of Puppets they kind of would occasionally inject some industrial elements, some sludgier, more slowed down portions too that I actually really appreciated. I liked how they did that. Track 1, Battery, was for sure a standout, just a total release of energy on that song, just what a punchy way to get the album underway. I also really liked track 8, Damage Incorporated. That one just had those really jarring breaks in the track and then they would bring all the energy back all of a sudden. And then I think my favorite song, honestly, on this whole album was track 3, The Thing That Should Not Be. That one just really stood out to me because of how dark and like slowed down and sludgy it was. Just such an incredible weightiness to that song. But honestly, every single track on Master of Puppets I think is a standout. This whole thing is just loaded front to back with amazing songs. Definitely let me know down in the comments if you want me to continue with Metallica's albums. I'm loving this band so far. They always just bring so much energy to their music. But yeah, as usual, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned, and I will see you in the next video.